Hello, my name is Jupiter Hadley, and today we're doing another version of Jupi Plays All the Games, this time for the Strawberry Jam. The Strawberry Jam was a game jam back in February around Valentine's Day, where developers were challenged to make horny games. Most of these games are going to be not safe for work, so if that's not something you're interested in, move on to a different video. I'm playing all these games for about a minute each, 10 per video, so feel free to check them out further. Links are in the description, and feel free to check me out further as well. All my info is also in the description. At the end, I'll probably have an article of my favorites. Thank you very much for watching and liking and commenting. Next, we're playing Kiss Wizard versus Piss Wizard. Alright. Hierarchy, space, alright, WSD, space, alright. Smooch your friends. So you kind of use a space bar to kiss your friends and they go in their house. And then they don't get peed on. Not any more things to shoot. Come here. Come here, people. You kind of have to really just get some kisses. And then shoot them. I don't want to be peed on. This is a pretty silly game. I don't want to keep dying, so I'm trying to stay out of the pee. Next, we're playing Love is a Battlefield. What is these guys? These little, they're very cute. Like little poofs. I very much like the graphics in this. I'm killing everyone though. I'm not sure if I should be. It does say find the love you crave before time runs out, so maybe I should look for something I love. Alright, get rid of you. I know you guys are cute, but you're not the right things. Can't be having you around. Maybe I love battling. That's what I like. Grab these two. Bam, bam. 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 Very cute game. Love wins. Next. We're playing Monstergirl Mansion. You're scared, shelterless, and cold, but you made it here, and that means you have a chance. You knock on the door. A muscular, towering Cerberus answers the door. Her middle head scowls at you, chin raised suspiciously as her other two heads lean forward to sniff. Who are you? That cloak covers you pretty well, but do you smell like the kind of person who belongs here? She crosses her arms and raises 3 pairs of eyebrows expectantly. What kind of person are you, then? Let's be a fox. I'm a fox. She listens to your answer, then triple nods, uncrossing her arms. I think you do belong here, then. Foxes are our friends. This is a house just for monster girls, since there aren't a lot of places just for us. What kind of girl are you? People have always treated me like a girl. Right, thanks for cleaning that up for me. Come on in, sister. My name's Agatha. Let's get you dried off and fed, yeah? I love this 3-headed monster's graphic. It's very nice. You aren't the first one to show up like this. 2/3 of her attention goes to poking through cabinets, and her rightmost head turns to keep an eye on you. She smiles. There's 3 of us who are here all the time. We've all got solid, stable, boring gigs, so what we do with that is we make sure that we can take care of girls like you who show up. She pours tea and hands you a cup with one hand. She needs 2 hands for you to hold. My point is that you're not, inconveniencing us. The world out there kind of sucks for women like us. So we try to do right by each other. Because Clayton, Roxy, and I are absurdly lucky, we try to hold ourselves to a high standard here. Agatha holds her phone to her right head. What's up? Screeching. For reals? Impatient screeching. She just got here. Perpetual screeching? Agatha stage whispers at you from her left head, her middle head eye rolling at her rightmost head as her rightmost head handles the phone. She's got this mad science thing going on. Alright, screeching. I know you can hear me. I meant for you to hear me. Agatha produces another phone and raises it to her left head, starting a second conversation. I heard voices. Do we have a guest? We have a guest. A wet, cold fox showed up the doorstep. I'm making her tea. Please put her in the Celeste Blue third floor bedroom on the west side. Then, shall do. Does that one have flannel sheets? Yes, that's one of the medium warm rooms, which should be species appropriate. I know we have some proper clothes around because of that other fox a few months ago, and I believe we can feed her, but I'll double check in the morning. Sounds good. Agatha lifts her head, grins at you. Left head grins at you. It's getting confusing. Apparently we have 3 days in this game. I'm kind of interested in what these 3 days are going to have and why I'm here and what's going to happen. The graphics are really cute, and I find the introduction to the characters pretty interesting because that character who just hung up the phone hasn't actually spoken to us. However, she seems to be a sort of methodical person who does a lot of background stuff, whereas this one seems like more of a wild card scientist, and then the three-headed fox seems more like a mother. We'll see. Next. We're playing arrows, I guess. It's like 2 different arrows. So we're playing this nipple, it looks like, and we can kind of move around bodies. The music makes it sound really creepy. Let's go through the eye, I suppose. Ugh, that's like a tongue. I feel like we're in a very strange world. We're kind of stuck here. Oh, wait, if we tap a lot, we can sort of jump. This is challenging. What a weird game. Very hairy. Next. We're playing the game B.U.R.G. B.U.R.G. Barely undercover raunchy game. Alright, that was kind of cool, so it's like a little audio test. I'm not just make it a bit more. Sure. Your partner thought it would be a great idea to go for a walk tonight. They fumble with a joint as you pick your way through the dark, dodging streetlights and cars. The smell of smoke carries over to you, and you cough a little. They look over and grin. What's their name? Sure, it can be Lee. Right. Lee blows smoke in your face and laughs as you chase them away. The pair of you turn a corner as Lee slows down to stop. Ahead of you is a large building, classy as hell. Checkered black and white and red designs. The sign, neon button lit this late at night, reads Deluxe Burger Kitchen. Oh my god, I really want a burger right now.
Oh my god, I really want a burger right now.
Oh, nice accent. Do you think you can make one for me? Oh. I'm reading bits that are being read to me. Lee skips excitedly over to the front of the restaurant. Inside, the bar lights have been left on, casting a dim orange glow over the empty chairs stacked on tables. As you approach, you notice a side door. You squint. You're pretty sure it's open. Whoever locked up didn't check the latch. You swing it open and Lee follows you in. You've come in via the kitchen, fumbling on the wall. You find the light switch, and ahead of you see the worktops, the grill, the fridges. Lee wants a burger. Who are you to turn them down? I was wondering if it was going to read it to me. You gotta go through the steps. On the other side of the kitchen counter, Lee sits and squints at you. Meat. You gotta start with the meat. That's the most important part. You check one of the fridges and find some mince ready-made. It's gotta be made into patties first, though. You suddenly realize you have no idea how big a regular patty even is. The phrase quarter pounder with cheese loops through your head a few times, but you never learn imperial measurements. A pound means something very different to you. You'll have to guess the weight.
Just feel it out.
How many grams are you going to press? I don't know. How much is a gram? 5?
Oh, that's so little. You think you can satisfy me with that? Let's try again. Don't feel bad. I like that you're enthusiastic.
Alright, so 50?
Oh, that's so close. Just give me a bit more.
My
Let's try
goodness, you have
Don't
such
feel bad.
opinions on
I'm not
burgers.
enthusiastic.
I'm not even sure what a gram is. It's 75.
That's it. Oh, it's perfect.
I very much like this person's voice. It's a very nice voice. I approve. Next. We're playing BeeMine, Greenhouse Seduction. It was a bright morning over the meadow as Bee left the hive. Today was the day in Bumble's life where a bee became a bee. The day they started their journey in search for nectar was the day a bee took on the responsibility of the hive. Taking a deep breath, Bee looked out across the vast grasslands that seemed to stretch forever in all directions. Very cute bee. I can't believe it's finally here. I'm finally going to taste what all the older bees whisper about. They always tell me stories about it. You'd think it was the bee's knees. Where are all the flowers? It had been a long time since a flower had been seen in the tall grasses around the hive. Most of the others from the hive had to travel great distances in hopes of getting even a little nectar for the hive. The result of a continued loss of habitat for them to grow in left the bees in an awful predicament, and made the journey even more a daunting task. Many bees died needlessly for the sake of human selfishness. Just saying. They're all counting on me now. I can't let them down. And so Bee left in search for that thing every bumble needs, nectar. The life force of the hive, the basis of their society. It didn't hurt that it was delicious either. Bee traveled, and flew, and buzzed, and poor Bee grew more and more tired. Before long, it was hard for the poor bumble to keep aloft. If you've ever seen a bee laying or resting on a still sidewalk or railing, they just need a little helping hand. Give them a little sugar water and they'll be right on their way. But then they smelled it in the air, like heaven. Nectar. What is that fantastic smell? Is that what they mean when they say even the scent is like no other? None other. We've always been taught we'd know when it was. But I didn't think it would be like this. The scent seemed to be wafting out of a strange opening that seemed to be embedded in some sort of hard air. And Bee couldn't help but let the smell lead their way and drifted with the scent without even thinking. Oh my, the smell. Ah! Get off! Who are you? What do you want? Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I wasn't looking where I was going, and... Well, obviously you weren't looking where you're going. Otherwise, I'd think you quite a bit dafter than I already do. Accosting a flower like that. It's not like that at all. Sure it isn't, you bumbles are all alike. Just after a flower for her. Rose let the expectation of the word hang in the word as she stared down the intruder as Daisy hid behind her, peeking around her petals at Bee. I was just flying and exhausted. I must have just shut my eyes for a moment, and Bee let their words pet her off as Rose pinned them down with their glare. Oh, leave the poor bumble alone, Rose. Pick on someone your own size. But they assaulted poor Daisy. I'm sure. Bee, is it? Bee nodded weakly when passive Flora looked at them, too afraid to speak after Rose's last outburst. Nodding, she turned to look Rose in the eyes as if to challenge her. I'm sure Bee didn't mean to do it. They just needed a rest. Rose seemed to think for a minute as she glared a hole into Bee. Fine, but if they try anything else, I'll deal with them however I seem fit. Come on, Daisy. I like the graphics in this, and I like this cute little bee on this adventure. It seems very interesting. I wonder if Bee will get nectar after all. Next. We're playing 3200 Baud, Lust Story, B-A-U-D, Baud. The year is 2003. You're a furry. You're also horny as heck. Lastly, you were stuck on a bad internet connection. Really bad. Dialed up modem with phone lines that Alexander Bell installed personally bad. On a good day, you get about 28.8k connection on your dial-up modem. Luckily for you, today is a good day. This does, however, limit your options for satisfying your need for furry canoodling. Mostly, you stick to mucks and sexting. Except people don't call it sexting when you do it on a muck. They call it tiny sex. Drapery is the most popular muck for finding other furries to have tiny sex with. Being the most popular is a wide array of possible partners, but it also kind of regresses to the mean both in terms of quality of partners and also sexual tastes. Still, it's a fine place if you're vanilla to moderate BDSM mood. Lemchon? Sure, I definitely said that right. Used to be a club inside of called Drapery. Okay, but things got a bit too weird for Drapery standards, so the folks that hung out there went and made their own muck. It's not so popular as Drapery, in part because there is a vetting process for joining the muck, and also in part because it's got a reputation for being elitist because of the vetting process. Let's pick Drapery. You decide on Drapery. However, when you try to log in, you realize that you renamed your character for role-playing purposes sometime last week and now have completely forgotten the name you changed it to. Maybe it'll come to you later, but for now, you guess you have to use your account on Le Marchand. I get to be an elitist. You decide on Le Marchand. By default, when you log into Le Marchand, you appear in the Nexus area that's mostly got a giant chrome tree decorated with chrome spears, ends in a branching pattern that more resembles the USB symbol than an actual tree. There are a couple of folk idling here, and also there are exits to each of the warps, which are themed areas in the muck. Let's check out the warps. Here's your flavors in the theme areas on Le Marchand. I feel like I'm saying this name so wrong. There's Sweet, a candy-colored, innocent-appearing fantasy land that flavors aggressively promoted bliss and positive empathy. Most of these people here are literal toys. Others are just metaphorical toys. There's Sour. This place is pretty much defined by the Sour virus, a drippy, gooey, possibly sapient virus infecting data storage and a medium that can corrupt body and mind. Most people give Sour a wide breadth because of that, and also because Sour-infected individuals are widely unpredictable and potentially violent. Other folks go there for the same reason. Bitter. Neo-Victoria established based on an emphasis of craft, a time and place for everything, decorum and following the rules. There's a social protocol for everything, and none of it is particularly straightforward, but half the fun in having these protocols is breaking them, right? And there's Salty, a 24/7 Backland street party of instant gratification, clothing and sobriety optional, indulging in all the pleasures that the world can offer, not an option. A sensualist paradise, and introvert's hell. There's a lot of options in this game. Everything seems very there's a big variety of different options, basically. And everything seems pretty well written. Next. We're playing Oasis Station. A black cat woke up. She remembered her dream. She had dreamt of visiting Earth, even though she had never been there. The first planet, the origin of all known life. She dreamed of this planet many parsecs away, but she knew it was not her destiny today. A sleeping pod opened, letting this black cat to get up. Fresh air, artificial gravity, dim blue lights. She put on fresh pajamas and walked out in silence. The other passengers were still asleep. She took a quick shower and put on her pilot jumpsuit. She grabbed her travel bag from her locker. She walked through metal hallways and automatic doors until she reached the one labeled canteen. Inside, a series of empty tables with benches deposited in rows leading to a big cooking robot. The black cat asked for coffee and muffins. The robot complied and served in silence. She had traveled for 2 cycles, 48 hours of reading and reminiscing. She had been to some of the most surreal places of the universe, working in stations orbiting near star surfaces, on planets completely made of living matter, on moons so distant that the galaxy would look like a single star in the sky. Now it was time to relax, time to repeat the prize for good service. This assignment at Space Station Blueberry may be work, but it was still going to be work on the most chill place of the galaxy, according to the advertisement. The black cat got into a tiny spaceship and piloted it away from the mothership into a gigantic asteroid. She landed in a hangar there, where she was received by a single wolf boy in a lab coat. He brought her to her new boss's office. She had been awaiting for her arrival. "Welcome," the bear said, as she recognized some papers and opened her agenda. "I am Sapphire, Director of Personnel and Medical Attention. I'm so glad you are here. Did you have a good travel?" "Thank you, Miss Wendy," she said, shaking the black cat's hand. "You are now an official employee of Blueberry Station. Welcome to the team. As you know, our work here is to ensure our patients recover from their ailments, whichever those are, and can go back to work. You may, however, not be aware of how this is accomplished. We are not just a healthcare institution. We are a community at heart," she continued, showing off some pamphlets. "Everyone here works for the benefit of the community, to the extent of their abilities, patients included. Our clients are the companies that contract us to take care of their workers, not the patients themselves. We provide basic livelihood for them, but that is all paid for by our clients. This means we are expected to get our patients to a working state as soon as possible, and that's where you come in. We've been a bit understaffed lately. Hopefully you can make up for it, Sapphire explained. Seeing Wendy agree, the bear continued her disclosure. I'm hoping that you will have time today to take on some of the assignments I've prepared for you. Remember that however these people may seem, they all have at some point earned their stay. Your job is to make them comfortable with their old jobs again. You'll be paid based on how many return to their old jobs, but do not worry, all your basic needs will always be taken care of while you stay with us at Blueberry Station. Any questions? Who will be my patients? Alright, so this seems very, very interesting. So we have Dr. Andrew Merriweather, a lovely white rabbit who's been working for us for a while, and MX Tundra, I don't know how to say Mex Tundra, a sweet wolf who came here a few months ago, needs some help socializing. Alright, so we just have to help them with their jobs and with, like, getting back into daily life after being sick for a while. That's a very interesting idea. And a game I haven't played a game where that's your task, basically. Not treating them for illnesses, but helping them get back into regular life. Next. We're playing Your New Assignment. This game, it does say, please read my ethics statement. The ethics statement is a long thing saying the developer's stance on certain topics and specifically consent. This game is heavily not safe for work. The CW warning is for mind control, enslavement, bondage, identity modification, and erasure, and dystopian themes. So quite a bit. Everything is black. What is going on? Beep. You open your eyes. Opening your eyes does little. The room you're in being totally pitch black. You try and sit up, but to no avail. Heavy metal bands press over your chest, hips, and legs, pinning you securely to the metal slab you're laying on. It was cold, and you were shivering a little, attempting to ruffle up your feathers to keep warm. You noticed by that point that your head aches, as if you had been hit across the head. This is all rather worrying, as you don't know how you got here, or remember much else at all. You were an avian. You knew that much, just from the feeling of your body. But even what you looked like escaped you. Your muddled thoughts got no clearer after what seemed like a long time thinking about how you got here and who you are. You were sure this is just because someone clearly hit you over the head. It'll all come back soon. Under the Assigned Labor Act of 2355, you've been chosen for an assignment. Your head darted about, trying to locate the source of speech. An assignment? What does that mean? Hold still. Enabling metal interface. Your vision goes a bright, blinding white. Each feather in your body feels like a small knife for a brief second as something takes control of you, the feeling jarring enough to cause you to kick and writher in the metal binds, strapping you down once the feeling of your body returns. What do you do? It's resist, try and break free. You struggle against the metal binds as best as you can, writhing about under them, trying to get anything free. It's hopeless, however. Enabling order protocols. You barely have time to think about what it means before your mind feels like it's on fire, causing you to thrash about in pain. Whatever it's doing to you makes you feel like you're staring into the sun and having high-pitched sounds at high volume flooded your ears at the same time. Please stop, you desperately scream, absolutely helpless to stop whatever it was. And as fast as it came, the pain stopped, leaving you whimpering and panting in exertion, your whole body aching from the struggle. It was one of the worst feelings you've ever had, and you desperately want it to not happen again. I'll do whatever you want, you pant, as if you had a choice in the matter. It tells you exactly what it wants you to do, or is being imprinted in bright white, pixelated script before your eyes. On your eyes, you barely have time to think about how it's doing that before it seems to shout at you. Stand. You feel the metal straps sink into the table, and you do so hastily. Your feet are uneasy on the ground as your head pounds so hard you barely know which way is up. You cradle your head in your hands, whimpering. It shouts orders at you again. Look at the screen. You open your eyes and lift your head to look at the screen flickering to life, a familiar insignia, that of the Accord. Your species empire, you remember, spins slowly on the screen whilst it waits for you to pay attention. Your eyes hurt from the sudden change in lighting and whatever drugs they gave you to make it hard to focus, but you daren't complain. You've been assigned the duties of personal assistant, but that means you pat along your head until you find a tender part of skin in the back of your head. You knew what was causing all of this, a mind interface chip, Any incision they made is already mostly healed, as the Accord had access to rapid healing nanotech slaves, just leaving a bit of sensitive skin and a patch of missing feathers. Sorry, I keep scrolling too much. They will regrow. The chip was talking to you? Not through your ears, but you could still hear it. You'd only heard of these chips before and never felt like speaking to one of the accordion assistants to ask about it, but having a mind chip and an assignment meant you were one of them now. Accept it, because you don't want to be hurt again. This is a pretty interesting game. I like the fact that we're a bird. That's different. Not sure if I like the fact that we have a chip in our head and no idea what's going on, but trade-offs, I suppose. Next. We're playing maybe El Origin de Monde, which seems like French, maybe. So I probably pronounced it wrong. Anyway. Bedroom. You slowly open your eyes, taking the now familiar sight of your girlfriend's bedroom. It's a lovely place in the morning, except it isn't morning. In fact, it looks like the sun hasn't even risen yet. What? After a few seconds, you realize what's going on. You usually move a lot while sleeping, but if there's something else in the same bed as you, your body ends up instinctively not moving, making all of your muscles hurt. It looks like it's that pain that woke you up, and oh wow, by the gods you feel so sore. In addition, it looks like your girlfriend inched her face close to yours while you were sleeping, and while it's adorable, it also means that one of her horns is poking you in the forehead. At least they're not pointy. You could, and in fact you should, go back to sleep, but it might be good to stretch your muscles a little first. Also, it's kind of hot, you feel like you need to pee, and you're a little hungry. So with that in mind, you sneak out of bed and stretch your arms a little and get up. Now, let's look out the window. The window, as well as the curtains, are closed. Open the window. Great. Oh, I thought that the words weren't there, so let's go back. You open the window and immediately feel a difference as a cool breeze enters the room. That's so much better. Great. With the window now open, you can appreciate the view. The whole city is wonderful, but the neighborhood in particular is located on the side of one of the local mountains, giving you a beautiful view of the valley below. It's lovely. I'm very glad we could get this house. We've cooled down, you still need to pee, you're still hungry. Let's look at my girlfriend. Despite her being one whole head taller and significantly more muscular than you can't help but think that she's adorable. And her sleeping face, it makes you want to get back in bed right away, but you still have some things to do. Let's exert self-control. Why do we need to check the wardrobe? Well, you could put on some clothes. Not only are all of your girlfriend's clothes too big for you, and you only have 2 sleeves instead of 4, the little fur that you have on your body is already making you hot. You probably shouldn't try to get hotter. Though I'm not opposed to the wearing your significant other's clothing that are too big for you look. Alright, let's go to the living room. The living room, well, it's the same as it's always been, which is to say relatively sparse. Aside from the table, which is full of things, and the couch, there's not much else here. Inspect the table. Alright, to be fair to the living room description, the table is one of the few surfaces in this house with room for decoration, so it does have a lot of things on it. For example, the plates from dinner yesterday, an empty glass of juice, some framed photographs, a stack of books, a few bowls containing offerings to the 3 dragons. Maybe it'd be a good idea to buy a shelf. Let's remove the plate and bottle. You could put those things away like a responsible adult. Anyway, you only ate a mulberry salad and a mulberry jam sandwich, and you drank some mulberry juice, so your stuff is relatively clean. Your girlfriend ate a lasagna, though, so her plate is all oily, and it'd be a pain to wash this later. And it'll probably be me who has to wash it. Or you could just buy another table. Let's look at the photographs. These bring back some memories. Those pictures and trinkets are all from times you 2 traveled around the world, around the mainland with some friends, and though you sometimes ran into some complications, it was still quite an enjoyable time. This picture is from when you climbed Death Peak, which, despite the name, isn't actually that difficult of a climb. Well, it used to be, but as the view from Peak became more popular as a tourist spot, more and more safer paths up the mountain were established. Though you went in the middle of winter, so there weren't that many people there. Also surprising to no one, the view is pretty bad because of the snowstorm. But it was a fun trip. Wait, that is why people don't go there during the winter. Okay. Maybe look at the shrine. This is pretty interesting, just exploring my house after my significant other is asleep. There's a load of people I can pray to. Interesting. Anyway, next.